Okay, so today I am reviewing 5 different digital resources for Reading 510. The first resource is Instapaper. I liked Instapaper because it is a pretty straightforward platform. It's very clean visually, and I was able to easily save all of the resources I'm reviewing today, and that's what you can see here on my homepage. I was able to create tags. So I created a Reading 510 tag to keep all of the resources for this mini project in one easily accessible place on Instapaper. And then I was also able to add a note to one of my highlights. So the highlight feature is cool, but it is something of a con, I suppose, that some features are limited if you don't subscribe. So non-subscribers can create 5 highlights a month for free, but if you want unlimited highlights, you would have to subscribe. Another little con is, for the life of me, I could not figure out how to save a video here. That might be a me thing. I was able to determine how to save it via the iPad or the iPhone, but I couldn't figure out how to do it on the desktop. Overall, I do like Instapaper. It's intuitive. I like the idea that if you leave your primary device at home, you could still log into Instapaper and easily access all of your resources. The second resource I reviewed was ClassSwift. ClassSwift was kind of a unique one for me to review, and I almost turned back, but for my purposes and delivering professional learning for work, I thought some of these could actually be beneficial. So, ClassSwift is not ideal for most because it would require a school or a district to purchase licensing. That was my understanding. But there is a free version. The free version is extremely limited, but I deliver professional learning through for my work occasionally. And one of the things that I liked about ClassSwift is that it would make pivoting during a professional learning session much easier. So basically, via the free version, you can have multiple classes, up to 35 students in each class, and then when you ask students to join or participants, they can join via this QR code or they can join via a link. And what's nice about this is then you can screen grab things and push the screen grab out to them. So basically what that would mean for me is I'd have my primary professional learning deck with all of my standard topics and goals for a specific session, but on a separate screen that I'm not sharing, I could have polling questions, prompting questions that would allow me to pivot if needed. So if I have low engagement in a session, I could quickly screen grab on the screen I'm not sharing, push it out to participants and ask, what is your comfort level with, hypothetically, student level reports or grouping students by instructional priority, etc. So it would allow pivoting in my purposes to be a little bit easier without having to navigate off of my primary deck or make any live edits to my deck. I could just have that pre-existing pivot deck to screen grab when needed. So I did like ClassSwift for that reason. Obviously, there are a lot of cons. The free version is very limited. Your quizzing options are limited. You only get multiple choice, and I think true or false, where if you had the cost version or the subscribed version, you would have more features there. But I think it's a cool resource. I think it's something that I could potentially use in my sessions. My third resource is PBS for Teachers. I really liked this one. I honestly couldn't find anything bad to say about it. I think it's something that my daughter would enjoy using as well. It's organized here by subject and grade level. So you can search through specific subjects, specific grade levels. And let me get this ClassSwift out of the way. And then you can also scroll down here to navigate subjects there. I created a little account for my daughter or for myself, but that I could use for my daughter as a homeschool parent. And you can go to your dashboard. You can even create lessons, assignments, and classes so that you can assign your assignments to classes. and then you're able to share that via Google Classroom. And there was a link to share it right on the main page there when I created it. There it is. So you can import a class from Google Classroom here, and then once you create an assignment or a lesson, you can easily share it to your Google Classroom and everyone that's rostered. So again, overall, I really like this resource. It's very straightforward. I like that it's organized by subjects and by grade, and I like the idea that you can have a lesson builder. The other thing that was really nice about it is that if you were using this to supplement a specific topic, this one might be fine. You have your digital resource. So most of them had like a digital video, and right here you can share to Google Classroom, but they also had offline resources. So we had some conversation cards, and the one I had originally searched for had worksheets that you could send home for parents to continue the learning at home as well. So it had a lot of really positive resources, digital and paper and pen, and then the ease of access if you were using Google Classroom. The fourth resource I reviewed was Poll Everywhere. And again, I was interested in this because of the potential to use it during professional learning sessions to incite engagement. But there are a few really nice things about it. I like, again, for the sake of pivoting, that you can kind of create a deck of potential poll questions. You can click activity and you could have multiple choice, question and answer, survey, a competition feature, which I think sounds fun. But the thing that I think would keep me from using this is that you do have to share a link. And Zoom has an embedded polling feature now, so it seems like this wouldn't be the most natural thing to use when you can build out the same resource in Zoom, and that way participants don't have to have another link. So I do like it, but I don't think it's something I would probably use just because the Zoom resource would be much more easy for participants to access. I'm trying to hurry a little bit because the screencast keeps cutting me off. So this is my fifth resource. It's Codable Education. This is really cool. It's to teach young students or young learners how to code, like the foundations of coding. So you can create an account for your student. One con is that it does cost money. My understanding is that it's extremely discounted for teachers, but it does have some type of fee, I believe. So you can create an account. I created one for my daughter, and you can see projects. You can also see videos that explain concept videos about or explain concepts about coding, and then activity videos as well. And if you go back to the main page, there are guides. So you can learn more about how to guide your student through, and then worksheets, kindergarten packets, first grade packets, and so on. And this is a really fun resource. This is something I definitely want to dig into deeper and hopefully use with my daughter. So those are my 5 resources that I reviewed. I don't have really anything negative to say about Codable. I need to except for the fact that it isn't free necessarily, but it seems like a really fun way for students to start their engaging with digital coding literacy at a younger age. Thank you so much for listening, and I appreciate your time. Have a great night.